Thank you very much. You guys' problem is you're not excited enough. Larry asked me to tell you a little bit about the Herbalife story. I'm very excited about talking about Herbalife because for me, Herbalife is certainly much more than just a business. It's much more than just an opportunity or all the money that you saw people making up here tonight. Just about everybody in my family's had some sort of weight control problem, especially my mother. When I was growing up, she was always trying different kind of funny diets and so on. And eventually she went to doctors to try to get it cleaned up. And they prescribed to her a product called Dexamil. And for those of you who are not familiar with what Dexamil is, it's a drug, it's a narcotic. It speeds up your system. It makes you not be able to eat. It makes you not be able to sleep. And from several years of using this particular drug, she ended up having to get sleeping pills in order to go to sleep at night. And from several years of doing that, she ended up secretly behind their back seeing 2 and 3 and 4 and eventually 5 doctors to keep her habit up. And when I was 18 years old, she died from an overdose. And it seemed to me at that time that there was a lot better things that people could go out and do to themselves than just destroying their health just to try to lose a little bit of weight. And I've seen the most disgusting product that you can possibly imagine come out on the marketplace today for people to lose weight. All the way from people trying to get intestinal bypass operations where they actually cut open your stomach and they disconnect the tubes of your body so that you can't retain the food that you eat and you pass out and you throw up all the time. There's a new incision now where they actually open up your stomach and they take your stomach and they staple it shut. And this way only a small portion of food can go into your belly and you feel full. And if you eat too much food, the actual staples can pop wide open in your stomach. There's people that are getting pregnant women's urine shot into their arms in order to lose weight. They're wiring their mouths shut. They're doing anything that they can to lose weight. I mean, some of these things are just absolutely ridiculous. There's a new one on the market. Have you heard of this deal? You take this tablet, right, and you just dream the fat away. You heard that one? And so about, it's been almost 7 years ago now, I got very, very interested in what natural things would do for the body as far as weight control was concerned. And it's been almost 6 years now when the second time the Republic of China came to this country to try to open up the trade and with the United States. And I got very, very involved in what herbs would do for the body. And I got very excited about what they would do. And I'll just briefly explain it to you. How many of you were told when you were growing up or so on that you needed to chew your foods a lot of times? Did you ever hear that? Okay, well, the reason for that is because of the fact that when you're chewing your foods, you're producing a certain amount of enzymes in your saliva, and your enzymes are your digestive process that make you take down your foods and metabolize them properly. And the intestine is where you actually absorb the nutrients. And you have a little thing in there called a villi, all right? And that's where the actual nutrients are being absorbed. Unfortunately, because a lot of the foods that you eat, and most of us, a lot of us think that we're healthy, and we think that we're eating good food. Unfortunately, though, because of a lot of the pesticides and different things that are put into our products, preservatives and so on and so forth, your villi gets clogged up. And the older that you get, the less nutrients you're actually absorbing as you're growing up. I used to think when I got into the nutritional business that I was actually eating good. The problem is that your body is so filthy, what's unfortunate is you're not really absorbing very, very little of the nutrients out of the foods that you eat. What's sadder than that is this. Today, the health and nutrition business is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Now, let me just ask you this. How many of you in this room, before you got into Herbalife, or before you came down to this room here this evening, were using some type of nutritional product? Let me see this. Look around, everybody. More than half the people in this room were using some type of nutritional product. Unfortunately, your system is so clogged up that the majority of even some of the very good, high-quality nutritional products that are being sold out there today are being totally wasted away because your body is so filthy that it is just wasting it. So I got very, very excited about herbs because one thing I knew about herbs is that they would cleanse the system. This way, we could get all the proper nutrients in your system and you would absorb them because you were getting cleansed inside. And I got very, very excited about it. But I started thinking to myself, how are we going to get herbs into this country? You have to understand something. 6 and 7 years ago, herbs were considered kind of like witchcraftery. People didn't believe in it. They didn't know what to do with them. It's kind of like vitamins were 40, 50 years ago when we didn't have recommended daily allowances for vitamins. And people really didn't know what they should take or what they should do with them. So I started thinking to myself, well, listen, one thing I know is anybody will do anything to lose weight. Why don't we take herbs and sneak them in the back door through weight control? And then as people get onto the products and they lose weight and they start getting some of the health benefits that you saw on this stage here tonight, then this company could start coming out with very, very unique, high-quality products like you've seen us do in the past, such as the Sazandra, such as the Lifeline, such as the APR, and some of the other products that we've been able to come out that have actual medicinal-type purposes for them, that have specific usages that you would take and believe in them because you had already lost weight on our products and the health had started to get better, and you would listen as a result of that. This company is moving in a different direction today. And I'll tell you one thing, whether you're sitting out there tonight, even if you don't have 1 pound to lose or not, I guarantee you this. You get onto these products, you're going to feel better than you ever have in your entire life. I guarantee you that. You know, a lot of people ask me, you know, what is it like for you, Mark, in Herbalife? And for me to try to describe to you what it's like for me in Herbalife is pretty difficult. You know, to stand up here tonight and to just look at all the people that we see here in this room, and unfortunately we could not get all of you in the room, so we've got 3 or 4 other rooms going on, you know, for the overflows and so on. But it's very difficult for me to try to explain to you how I feel in Herbalife because, you know, it was different for me when I got started. You know, I didn't have the opportunity to come down and look at a meeting like you're seeing here tonight. I didn't have the opportunity to have someone show me the products or you know, have anybody, you know, show the income stories and stuff like that. My very first meeting, wait a second, I didn't go to a very first meeting. What am I talking about? I was the only distributor. There was no first meeting. So it was different for me in the very beginning because, you know, I didn't have anybody to show me anything. You know, in the beginning, I just got going. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I did in my business to get my business going. And you've probably heard some of these things before, but maybe I'll just explain it to you in a little bit different way. Because the basis of our business has never been different since the very, very beginning. There's 3 things you've got to do to make it in our company. Number 1, you've got to use our product. That's number 1. Number 2, you got to wear the button. And the next thing you got to do is you got to flap your jaws. All right? Now those are the only 3 things you got to do. So maybe I'll just kind of explain to you a little bit how I started off my business, because for me it was different. I didn't have a business like this going like you guys did. I didn't have anybody to show, you know, the slides to and for that fact, the product. My very first meeting, I thought my friends were going to help me out. And so I invited 15 of my best friends down to a little meeting, and all I brought that night was a baggie full of the powder and a little bit of the guarana. And so I shoved some little bit of guarana down them, and which got everybody in a good mood at least. And I had a baggie full of powder. Now you have to envision something. I mean, I'm standing there with a baggie full of powder, so a little bit of guarana, and I'm telling everybody, you guys have no idea how healthy we're going to make this world. Now, that's a little bit of a different kind of a meeting to give a presentation in. So it was different than the way you guys got started. And I tell you something, none of my friends wanted to get involved with me at that particular point. There's people from that meeting that are in our business now as it got rolling, but all of my friends thought I was an absolute lunatic when the thing got started. So I just went moving on, and I kept on, and I believed in the products, because here's what I did. I used the products every single day. That's what I did. Because, see, when you use the products every single day, you have a different type of strength that's about you. You have a different type of aura about you. You just feel different. I mean, have you ever noticed anybody that has never lost weight in our company, and they just use the products and that's all they do, and people, you can see it in your eyes. Have you ever noticed that? You're energetic, you feel better, and that portrays to people. People see that, and you can't hide that. That's why, how many of you have seen the business opportunity film about a meeting just like this one practically? And I say in there that this is not like, going out and selling encyclopedias or, going out and selling, some kind of insurance policies. This is not like selling plastic bowls. Now, I know that's kind of a stupid little story in the film, but you think about it for a second. Isn't this different than selling plastic bowls? I mean, how excited can you get about that? People start asking you, because one thing that'll happen when you get onto our products, our products will get you referrals as a result of getting onto the product. That's what our product does. That's not going to happen to you when you go in and show somebody, hey, Mary, look at this glorious set of encyclopedias. Now, how different is that? You start losing weight, and everybody in town wants to know about it. And it starts going and going and going. That's exactly how I started my business. I got my granny, and I said, Granny, you're fat. You need this stuff. Try it. And that's how I got my granny going. My little granny started going around town, started talking to people about the products, and she started getting me customers. So number one thing that you have to do is you got to use our products. The second thing you got to do is wear the button. Now, I happen to know that the button looks stupid. I can see a lot of people think it's stupid. I know that it happens to look dumb, okay? And maybe a little bit, you go out there and people make jokes about you and stuff like that because you're wearing your button. I also know that this helps you get customers, okay? And here's the biggest thing that the button really does for you. The real thing that the button does for you, when you put this button on your lapel, what you're saying to every single person that you know, regardless of how much you like them, regardless of how much you care about them, regardless of how much they think that you're crazy for selling our products, what you're doing by wearing this button is saying, I don't care what anybody thinks of me, I don't care what anybody else does, I am proud to be an Herbalife distributor. That's what this button is. Look at you guys, you're all right. You got to understand something. I didn't have a button in the beginning, okay? Because there wasn't any buttons in the beginning. But I tell you what I did do. I had the same concept, though. I used the product faithfully every single day, and I went out and talked to people every single day, and I didn't care what anybody else thought about me. Let me tell you something. The 15 people that were sitting in my room didn't get involved in the beginning. But let me tell you something, what I did. I kept going out there, and I kept talking to people over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then you know what I did when I got sick and tired of even looking at fat people? I went out and I did it over and over and over and over. That's all I did. That was it. And that's all you got to do, is just care enough about somebody to go out there and touch somebody with our products. How can you sit here after tonight and see what you've seen here this evening and listen to the testimonials that you've seen and get onto our products and think about some of the friends that you have and not go out and talk to that individual about what you've heard here tonight? How can you sit in this room and not do that? So that's all I do with my business. I use the products. When I finally got a button, I wore the button, and I talked to people over and over and over again. And I tell you what, we don't have to, in this room, go out and get every single person in the world into Herbalife. We don't have to do that, gang. You know what we have to do? We have to go out and get every single person. We have to get Herbalife into every single person into the world, and everything else will take care of itself. That's what will happen. Thank you very much. May God bless every single one of you.